Imagine if we could predict the future with AI, astrology, and numerology. Imagine if you knew the future, what could you do? For education's purposes only. Let's see how we go.
I see some claim that some pundits should be seen as members of a cult that considers itself to be a priest class, but in reality they are subject to the darkness. I see many say does a truer democracy exist that enables the people to get to the head of the nation. I see that the distant populace has been transformed into an alien colony. I see a young boy rise from the earth. I see years of a policy have ruined the people only to end in collapse. I see that the main problem with humans is that they will experience an emotional collapse while attempting to make sense of their repetitive training. I see that England is almost completely destroyed, but I also see that the populace has faith in the coming of the day when we will be able to expand our territory once more. I see the people in a distant land in revolt stating for decades, which has now been shattered from delusion, now in slaves. I see the people need reform. I see 3 troughs loaded with flames. I see that after looking over the ruins, I notice some people are in tears. Those who recognize the threat coming deserve to be honored. I see that many are criticizing, while at the same time want to rob people's pockets of their money. I see many people desperately trying to manufacture something out of this because they are already looking for friends to interview in order to show how bad they all are. I see that spin they explain are being exposed by far too many people. I see that, in contrast to tradition, the goal is to give the populace access to food and political power. I see that some members of the general public automatically assume that they have the right to freedom of choice whenever the word freedom is placed about by a political party. I see the people have faith that one day heaven will restore them to their former splendor, and there would be no controller in front of us. I see that we are obsessive in our love for the people, and this must be projected onto one another. I see the modern structure, which in theory rejects the concept of a single person, substitutes individual energy with that of many masses, and thereby destroys its fabric. I see that the authority is acknowledged by granting the populace the appearance of power and enabling them to direct the ship to the farms. I see the people protesting the idea that every other state and people should have rights, and many have none. I see some claim that striving to appease the repetition machine is pointless because they can never be completely satisfied, just the same catchphrases are repeated. I see that some people have called out for the restoration of the people's freedom, which has been taken away by the system that other people have subverted. I see the fall in religion. I see some claim that unrestrained exploitation will always triumph. I see the people mocking the generals. I see the towns and architecture would not exist at all. I see that many of the people who today bemoan the sacrifices required came from very little. I see that the Brotherhood of Darkness is gaining elections thanks to the repetitive puppets, who are also turning into the main targets of the Friends in need fight. I see many say that many are making a big fuss about the state of the shutdown, yet our friends are actually starving to death in their opulent palaces. I see that the illegitimate situation of one-sided disarmament and theft of the people's rights cannot last any longer. I see many say the next time churches must fight for the faith, they predict a fierce battle that will be over quickly. I see the old party gets changed after a number of years, and the tyranny and policies are the same as when the game first.
Check out past posts to see what we got right, and let us know in the comments to improve the algorithm. To find out your own numerology and how it affects your life, check out the description.